Welcome you all to my class on HSC English first paper. In today's class, I will explain lesson 2 of unit 3, and you can see the title of unit 3 is Dreams, and the title of lesson 2 of unit 3 is Dream Poems. So in today's class, you can easily guess that I will explain poems because there are 2 poems in lesson number 2 of unit 3. And the 2 poems, the title of the 2 poems is same. The title is basically Dreams. So the title of both the poems is Dreams, and one of the poem is written by D.H. Lawrence and the other poem is written by Langston Hughes. So these 2 poems composed by these 2 poets are basically the main concern of our today's class. And why these poems are important? Because that you have to write summary. There is summary writing in your syllabus, and there is also theme writing in your syllabus. Now, summary can be written on prose, summary can be written on poems as well. And at the same time, theme can also be written on poems, theme can also be written on prose. So that is why the poems are very important, because we have noticed one thing, that frequently the poems from the textbook have been selected for theme writing in the examination, and we have noticed it in different board examinations as well. That is why the poems that have been that you will find in your textbook are always very important. You have to prepare yourself for summary writing on these poems, and you have to prepare yourself for theme writing on these poems as well. Now, if I want to share with you some ideas that what are the basic rules of writing summary, what are the basic rules of writing a theme, then I must share certain things with you. Now, these are poems I have already said, and there can be also prose on which you are supposed to write a summary or theme. Now, there are some basic rules I have already said. Now, let's look at the rules. What are the rules I want to write over here? Now, let's start with summary. If we write a summary, then the question that comes first, that what should be the length? So there is a kind of recommendation in some books we have seen that the books say, or the recommendation is that a summary has to be written within 80 words. And we have also seen another thing, that 1/3 of the text. Now, I'm talking about prose, and then I will go to poems. Now, I'm talking about summary. This is summary writing, and I'm talking about prose, that you are writing a summary on prose, on a passage, and the length should be 80 words or 1/3. That is the recommendation. Now the question arises that if you write a summary of a text or of a passage which has 300 words, for example. Now, in that case, you can say you will write a summary of about 80 words. It's okay, fine. I'm repeating again. Look, if a passage contains 300 words, and if you write the summary on or within 80 words, then it's fine. If you follow the instruction of 1/3 over here, then the length will be bigger. So in this case, if the word or if the number of words in a particular passage is about 300, so in that case it's better to follow this instruction, that you have to write your summary within 80 words, and don't follow this one, because in this case the summary will be bigger than our expectation. On the other hand, if the word is of a passage is 120, for example. Now over here, if the total number of words in a passage is 120, and if you follow this instruction, that means if you write the summary within 80 words or around 80 words, then it's not fair, it's unfair. What will you do? In this case, you have to follow this style. That means around 40 words, or you can write the summary in 50 words, something like that. So there is no hard and fast rules. You cannot say that this rule is absolute or this rule is absolute. So what is better, or what we suggest, that if you have to count the words, no, it doesn't mean that you have to count the words one by one. If you just count the number of words in a single line, and then you multiply the number of lines and the number of words that you get in a single line, then you will have a kind of gauge about the number of words the passage contains. And if the passage is bigger, then follow this instruction that within 80 words, write the summary within 80 words. And if the passage is shorter, then it's better to follow 1/3 of that. But still, I don't claim that these are the absolute rules. What is important, that when you will write the summary, apart from this length, you have to remember few more things. I will explain those things over here. You know that when you will write a summary, the things that you have to keep in your mind, that the passage can be written in first person, first person. So if the passage is in first person, you are not supposed to keep it in first person when you are writing the summary. You have to obviously write the summary in third person. So this is very important. Even if the passage is in first person, when you will write the summary, you have to write it in third person. This is very important for summary writing. And secondly, if there is quotations, for example, if there are quotations in the summary, don't use the quotations. You have to avoid the quotations. Don't use it. And don't use the direct speech in your summary writing. So this is also very important. And you have to avoid examples, Don't use the examples that you get in the text or in the passage. So you have to avoid quotations or direct speech in summary writing. You have to also avoid examples in summary writing. You have to follow the length of the summary writing, and you have to maintain obviously third person in summary writing. And finally, what I want to share with you, that don't copy the words and the sentences directly from the text. Well, I was talking about summary writing. Now, dear students, remember one thing, that summary is basically, that you are given a text or you are given a poem. Summary is basically the same thing in brief. And I said at the beginning that I will make a kind of distinction between summary writing and theme writing. So the basic difference between summary writing and theme writing I want to share with you. But before going to that, before going to discuss theme writing, I want to tell you one more thing, that when you will write a summary, you have to remember one thing, that you have to address the main points of the text or the main points of the poem. If you are given prose, fine, you have to focus on the main points and you have to pick up the main ideas. And in case of summary writing of poems, do the same thing. But the summary has to reflect the original text just in brief. And theme is different from that, not only in terms of length, but also in terms of essence. The theme writing is different. But one thing, there is one common thing in theme writing as well. Now, what is that? In case of theme writing, you have to also follow, if it is prose, you have to also follow the same rules. I mean, don't use first person even if it is in the text, and you have to write it in third person, and don't use quotation even in theme writing, and don't use examples even in theme writing. But theme writing is different from summary writing. I said earlier, in what sense? In case of theme writing, your length has to be short. It is always suggested that theme writing has to be completed within 50 words. Don't cross 50 words. But what we have observed, the basic difference between theme writing and summary writing, in case of theme writing, whether you are writing a theme on a text or on a passage or on any poem, remember that you have to focus on the main idea or the main, theme. That is basically the title, the main theme. So your focus has to be on the theme of the poem, not the summary. Your focus has to be on the theme of the passage, not on the summary. Summary is just the same thing in brief. Theme is basically the focus on the main idea of the text of the passage or of the poem. So naturally, the length of theme is shorter than the length of summary. So this is the basic difference, not only the length of theme is shorter than the length of summary, and the focus of theme is basically on the main idea of either the passage or of the poem. And you should restrict yourself within 50 words. Don't cross the limit. The other things like not giving quotations, like avoiding first person, not giving examples, these are common things in case of both theme writing and summary writing. So remember, the last point I want to again make it confirmed to you that theme writing is basically focused on the main idea of either the passage or of the poem, and summary writing is basically to write something in brief. I mean, to give ideas or to make a kind of summary or substance of the passage or of the poem in brief. So that is the basic difference. One deals with the main idea, theme of the poem or theme of the passage. The other, I mean, summary deals with or focuses on the thing in brief. So that is basically the main difference. So dear students, let's now start reading the two poems on dreams by D.H. Lawrence and Langston Hughes, and I will also explain the summary and theme of these two poems, and again I will show in details the difference between summary and theme. So let's go start our poems. I have already mentioned that in today's class I will explain two poems, and I have also said the difference between summary and theme. Now, dear students, at first we will read the poems. I will explain the poems, and at the same time, after explaining the poem, I will also tell you the summary and theme, and at the same time, I will also show you the difference between summary and theme. Now, let's straight go to the poems. The first one, the title Dreams, the poem is written or composed by D.H. Lawrence. Now, let's read the poem first, and let's try to explain the poem. The poem is about dreams. Already we have known that. All people dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind wake in the morning to find that it was a vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous people, for they dream their dreams with open eyes and make them come true. So there are 6 lines in this poem, and it's a very short poem. And the poem is about dreams, so you all know that. Now we will go line by line. All people dream, but not equally. Very simple sentence, very simple line, not sentence. Very simple line. All people dream, but the depth is significant. The line is apparently simple. The line apparently appears to be very ordinary, but the underlying meaning, underneath meaning of the line is very significant. All people dream, but not equally. So, we all people, we all dream, but our dreams are not equal. There are 2 types of dreams, I have said. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind, this is the first type of dream. Those who dream by night, so this is basically the dream we understand. We dream at night in the dusty recesses. Dusty means full of dust. Recess means a kind of, rest, a kind of vacation, a kind of, refreshment, not refreshment, vacation or relief or something like that. Now, those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind, so when the minds are at rest after the day's work, so we dream at that time. I am repeating, those who dream by night, those people who dream at night, when their brains are at rest after the day's work and labor, wake in the morning to find that it was vanity. So when they wake up in the morning, they realize that the dream was false. It was not real. Vanity means basically it means pride, but over here it means meaningless. It means impractical or not real, unreal. So people who dream at night, at the time when the minds take rest from the day's work, they dream.
And when they wake up in the morning, they realize that their dreams were not real, and the dreams were, unreal and untrue, not true. So this is the first type of dream we are talking about. I have said that there are two types of dreams, and the poet himself, the poet is D.H. Lawrence, he himself over here, he explores, he reveals the two types of dreams. Now the second type of dream is discussed in the second stanza of the poem. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous people. So the dreamers who dream at the time of day, according to the poet, are dangerous people. So dangerous, don't look at this word from negative point of view. Don't consider that dangerous is a negative word over here. Dangerous is to some extent positive over here. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous people. That means they are different types of people. They are people full of spirit. They are not ordinary people. They are extraordinary people. So this extraordinary has been used by the poet as dangerous. This is basically the nature of poetry. In poetry, you will not, you cannot expect all the time that the words will be used in their original sense. So sometimes just opposite word is used. You will see, you will observe this type of use in poetry, in poems. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous people. So dreamers of the day basically indicate people who for their dream, their dreams with open eyes. So dreamers of the day are basically people who dream with their eyes open. So who are the people who dream with their eyes open and make them come true? And they dream keeping their eyes open, and what they want to materialize their dreams, they want to implement their dreams into reality. So this type of people, these type of dreamers have been considered as dangerous people by the poet. But they are not dangerous, they are dreamers who want to dream and who want to fulfill their dreams into reality. They want to materialize their dreams. They want to implement their dreams into reality. So we have noticed that there are two types of dreamers. In the first stanza, in poetry or in poems, you will have stanzas, not paragraphs. In prose, you will have paragraphs, and in poetry, in poems, you will have stanzas, where each stanza consists of several lines, sometimes 3 lines, sometimes 4, 5, 6. So the number of lines can vary, but this is known as stanza, not as paragraph. Remember this. And in the two stanzas, we observe two different types of dreamers. In the first stanza, we see dreamers who dream at night and they forget their dream when they wake up from sleep. So this dream is meaningless. It doesn't have that much significance, and it is false. It is unreal. On the other hand, there are dreamers who dream with their eyes open. And these dreamers are basically the scientists, the philosophers, great politicians, great leaders, and great personalities in the world of literature and history. So they are great people. So these great people, what they do, they dream with their eyes open. So this dream is basically aim, objective, target of life. So this is the second type of dream. So we have noticed two types of dreams in this poem. And now we will go to a summary and theme one by one. I will show you the difference between summary and theme. I have discussed it, and now I want to show you through the example of this poem. Now, if we write summary of this poem, it will be like this. The poem stresses on the necessity, stresses on or emphasizes, same word. The poem stresses on the necessity of having dreams or visions in life. When we read the second stanza, basically the second stanza is more important, because in the second stanza the poet has made it clear that what is necessary in the life of human beings is having dreams or visions in life. If we don't have visions, if we don't have dreams in our life, then we will not be able to implement our dreams into reality, and we will not be able to change the world Definitely, we want to make the world positive. Unlike people who dream at night, so we have noticed in the first stanza of the poem that there are some people who dream at night. That dream is meaningless, pointless. And those dreamers are also, they cannot do anything good to the world. The real dreamers cherish dreams consciously. So, who are the real dreamers? The dreamers who dream at night are not real dreamers because their dream vanish as soon as they wake up in the morning. The real dreamers are people who cherish dreams consciously and render means give, utmost, the highest effort to make those dreams come true. So, they are the real dreamers. The real dreamers cherish their nourished dreams consciously, as the poet says, with open eyes, and render means give utmost, highest effort to make those dreams come true. So they are the real dreamers. So we are writing the summary of the poem, and in the summary I have said in my discussion that in the summary you will, if it is a summary of a poem, you have to in brief give the idea the poet has generated in the poem. And in case of prose writing, a summary is basically the passage in brief. Dreams encourage or invigorate or inspire, same, synonymous words, them to reach their destination. So, what is the function of dream? Dreams encourage or invigorate them to reach their destination, their goals. So, that is the function of dreams. Dreams encourage people, dreams invigorate people, dreams inspire people to reach their destination. So, we have to also write this sentence over here. Dreams of night are just the manifestation or outlet or outcome. That manifestation means just the outcome, the physical, outlet or expression of something. And dreams of night are just the manifestation of people's unfulfilled desires and wishes. So, what are dreams of night? Dreams of night are basically the kind of desires we have in our minds. We just give it an outlet or a kind of manifestation, and that is that is all about dreams of night. So, dreams of night, I repeat, are just the outlet of our desires. We have some hidden desires, we have some hidden expectations, unfulfilled desires, and those unfulfilled desires and wishes find an outlet or manifestation through our dreams at night. So, those dreams are meaningless dreams, according to the poet. These dreams are pointless and meaningless. So those dreams do not have any significance. But the dreams that, I have already said, and look at the second line, who are the original dreamers? The real dreamers cherish dreams consciously and render utmost effort to make those dreams come true. And dreams encourage them to reach their destination. So that is the difference between real dreamers and unreal dreamers. Real dream and unreal dream. Unreal dream is experienced at night, and that dream vanishes as soon as we wake up. Real dream exists throughout our life, and we want to fulfill that dream in reality. And the real dreamers are also people who want to fulfill their dreams into reality, who want to implement their dreams into reality. Now, if we want to make a theme, want to write theme on the same poem, how will it vary from the summary? There will be some similarities between summary and theme in case of poem, which you will not notice so clearly in case of prose. But let's see what kind of similarities we find and dissimilarities we find between summary and theme. If we write theme of the same poem, we can use these sentences. The theme of the poem is the necessity of having dreams or visions in life. And that was the first sentence of our summary as well. But we can use this sentence as the theme. In writing theme, remember, the main idea is basically the theme. And you can also use the supporting ideas. So there is basically only what we see, what we observe, there is basically only one theme in a poem, but there are some ideas which are generated by the poet, which are linked to the theme, but which is not basically the main theme. So the theme of the poem is the necessity of having dreams or visions in life. That is how we can start writing our theme. Unlike people who dream at night, the real dreamers cherish dreams consciously and render utmost effort to make those dreams come true. I have already explained this line when I discussed summary. But this line you can also use in theme. Dreams inspire, encourage, or invigorate them to reach their destination. We will finish here. We will not write the summary of the poem. We will simply focus on the theme of the poem. What is the theme of the poem? The theme of the poem is the necessity of having dreams and visions in life. And then the supporting idea is that unlike people who dream at night, the real dreamers cherish dreams consciously and render utmost effort to make those dreams come true. So at best, we can just enhance the theme or enhance what we said in the first sentence with this second sentence, and then we can say dreams encourage people to reach their destination, but we will not give the details as we did in case of summary. Look, there what we used, dreams of night are just the manifestation of people's unfulfilled desires. These dreams are pointless and meaningless. These two sentences I omitted when I wrote the theme. Don't think that in every case the lines or the expression of theme and summary will be same. But what I wanted to mean that in case of writing theme of poems, you will find a kind of similarity between theme and summary. And remember one thing, summary is just telling the poem in brief, just highlighting the ideas, supporting ideas, and incidents and episodes, whatever you find in the poem in brief. And theme is focusing on the main idea, the main issue of the poem. What does the poem deal with? That is theme. So the poem deals with the necessity of having dreams or visions in life. Remember that we have to complete our theme within 50 words. In case of summary, you can go up to 80 words, but since it was a short poem, it is preferable to limit your summary even within 50 to 60 words, not to cross 60 words because it's a very short poem. And in case of theme writing, you have to complete it within 50 words. Sometimes it can be written in 30, 35, or 40 words even, but don't cross 50 words. And don't go for details in the theme. Theme is not the kind of writing where you have to summarize the poem. Theme is basically what does the poem deal with? The poem deals with the necessity of having dreams or visions in life. And we have just extended the theme of the first sentence, saying that unlike people who dream at night, the real dreamers cherish dreams consciously and render utmost effort to make those dreams come true. We have mentioned, we have basically said that, or we have basically expressed and analyzed, and we have mentioned the theme of the poem in the first sentence, and the second sentence is just the extension of the idea that has been generated in the first sentence. And second sentence and third sentences just highlight the first sentence, are basically the supporting ideas that highlight the main idea or the theme of the poem. So remember this, that theme of a poem is basically the main idea and the main issue the poem deals with. Don't go for summarizing in theme. So that's the difference basically between summary and theme. And theme has to be restricted within 50 words. So dear students, let's go to the second poem. Okay, in this poem, Dreams by Langston Hughes, we also get ideas about the dreamers. Now, let's read the poem first, and then, as we did in our previous poem, we will try to summarize this poem, and at the same time we will try to write a theme on this poem. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Now, we have just finished reading the poem. Now we will go line by line. Hold fast to dreams. Now, dear students, in this poem, what we noticed in the previous poem, we got two types of dreamers. But in this particular poem, we get basically one type of dreamer, and the poet is focused on setting dream in life, setting objectives in life, and the poet emphasizes on the significance of having dreams in life. And if we don't have dreams, then what will happen to us? That is why the poet is saying, hold fast to dreams. That means he's saying that hold dreams tightly so that it can't go. Because if dreams die, hold fast to dreams means that you should have dreams in life. You should possess dreams in life. You should cherish dreams in life. Otherwise, what will happen? For if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird, so that cannot fly. So if your dreams die, then your life is comparable to a bird whose wings have been broken. So what happens to a bird? When its wings are broken, when a bird's wings are broken, the bird cannot fly. That means flight or flying is basically the main, pride, the main significance of a bird. That is his pride, that is his hope, that is his destination, that is his goal. So if the flight vanishes, so if the bird cannot fly, then its life becomes meaningless. So life is comparable to a broken winged bird if you don't have dream. So a life without dream, a person's life without dream is comparable to a bird who has lost its wing. So a bird without wing is like a life without dream. That is basically the comparison. Now the poet has, used. I will gradually explain simile, metaphor, and there are other, figures of speech that we necessary. Basically, simile, metaphor, and imagery. These comparisons are very much necessary. So life is a broken winged bird. It's a metaphoric language, that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Again, the poet stresses on the necessity of holding dreams tightly. So you have to hold your dreams tightly, you have to hold your dreams fast. For when dreams go, because if dreams vanish, life will be a barren field frozen with snow. So a life without dream is again comparable to a barren field which is covered with snow. I am repeating, a life without dream is comparable to a field which is barren and which is covered with snow. So a barren field cannot produce any crop, cannot give birth to any life, and if it is frozen with snow means it symbolizes death, it symbolizes barrenness, it symbolizes sterility. So life without dream is sterile, like a barren field. Life without dream is sterile like a barren field, and which is also covered with snow. So you can also realize that even in this poem, the poet emphasizes on the necessity of having dreams in life. And it says that if you don't have any dream, then your life is comparable to the life of a bird without wing. So life without dream is like the life of a bird without wing. And life without dream is like a barren field which is covered with snow. A barren field cannot produce any life, any plant, any crop. And similarly, a life without dream cannot produce anything. Now let's go to the summary. The poet puts emphasis on the significance of having dreams in human life. I have already said that the poem is about a dream, and the poem is also about the significance of having dreams in life. He also stresses on the barrenness of life devoid of dreams. So we have already discussed that if we don't have dreams in our life, then our life will be barren. So naturally, we are saying that the poet is also stressing on the barrenness or sterility of life devoid of dreams. Dream works as the driving force of life. So what does it mean? It means that if you have dream, then your dream will forces you to go ahead. And if you don't have any dream, you will not feel the urge of going ahead. Life without dream is meaningless and monotonous. So if you don't have any dream in life, then your life will be meaningless and it will be monotonous. You will not find any interest in your life. The message here is to go on dreaming and never to give up. So what message does the poet give over here? The poet gives the message that you have to dream and you should not give up, because without dreams life is a waste. Because if you give up and if you don't have any dream in life, then your life will be a kind of waste. Without dreams, life is like a bird whose wings are broken. And I have already discussed that life without dream has been compared with the wings of birds. Without dream, life turns into a barren field covered with snow, which offers no promise of good harvest. And this has also been discussed. Without dream, our life will be barren. Our life will be comparable to barren field covered with snow that cannot produce or that cannot offer or promise any good harvest. So what is important that over here in the summary, we have just tried to summarize the poem, and we have basically focused on the main ideas and issues on this poem. And when we will go to the theme of the poem, what we observed in the previous poem, that we will basically focus on the main idea. Let's go to the theme now. The theme of the poem is the significance of having dreams in human life, and it also focuses on the barrenness of life devoid of dreams. So theme is something where you have to tell the main idea in the first sentence, and that sentence is most important, and that is basically the soul of the theme, and the rest of the sentences are just the extension of the main idea or just the addition of some supporting ideas, nothing more than that. So what we are saying in that, we are not going to summarize the poem. Over here, we will not say that life has been compared with that or this. We will not say that. That type of comparison, that type of example, we will completely omit in writing theme. And that's why you have noticed that what we have written over here. The theme of the poem is the significance of having dreams in human life, and it also focuses on the barrenness of life devoid of dreams. So that is the theme of the poem, the significance of having dreams, and if we don't have dreams, then life will be barren. That's what we have written in the first sentence. The message here is to go on dreaming and never to give up, because without dreams, life is a waste. So that's the addition of the first sentence. We just extended the idea in another sentence. And the message of this poem is to go on dreaming and not to give up, because without dream, our life will be a kind of waste. And remember, you must have noticed that we have omitted the example, we have omitted the comparisons that we used in the summary. But in case of writing theme, we did not use the comparison. We have omitted whether it is if you find any simile, metaphor, or imagery. In case of summary writing, you have to omit all those figures of speech in theme writing, because theme is basically the main idea and the main point of the poem. I mean, the poem deals with. So, dear students, I hope that you understood summary writing and theme writing to some extent. Obviously, these are difficult areas, and we will again and again focus on these areas in our next classes. And I hope that you will stay attentive to our classes, and you will attend all the classes that we are taking. So till my next class, I want to say goodbye. Stay at home and stay safe. Thank you very much.